high quality lead forms that
This
brings
meeting is
in
being recorded.
people that actually want to pay you money. And this is really going to come along with two different parts. First thing, and I always say this, the AI scans your ads and that those it resonates with. So the first part of this puzzle, we're going to start off with the actual ad, making sure that we're delivering good creatives that's going to bring us people that we actually really want to work with, whether it be for a credit pair or for funding. That's my focus. And the second part of this is putting out some sort of conditional logic, explaining about a little bit about conditional logic, how that works. So ultimately, you're not just wasting your time on these calls. That's the most annoying thing. And as well, too, to be able to build all this stuff out, we're going to be using our marketing brain. Our marketing brain, honestly, it's freaking crazy, because all of social media, Instagram, Facebook, it's all based upon AI nowadays. So if we think that we can just run an ad on Facebook and Instagram and just completely think that AI is obsolete, it's kind of unrealistic. We want to make sure that we're always, using the algorithm to our advantage, using AI to our advantage. Don't be held back by that. So let's get this party started. We're going to be talking about, again, how to bring in new clients through paid ads from A to Z, starting out with the actual ad that we're creating, and then creating a simple setup for like a lead form to be able to bring in these actual calls for you and making sure they're just not wasting time on these calls. Let's get this party started. And we got some new pace people over here. So if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to drop in the chat. If you have any questions as well, too, you can always put on the type form because after I go over all this stuff, I'm going to go over those type form questions. But this was by popular demand. So let's get this party started. All right. Let me pull up my accounts over here. And of course, guys, as I go through, sometimes I do get passionate. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Drop it on chat. Put up the little hand icon. I got your back. All right. We're going to do this on my account over here. Just pull up my account over here and then pull up ChatGPT. Because there's honestly one thing that I don't really see businesses really doing enough is really just doing an audit of their current client acquisition system, making sure that they're attracting, the right type of people they actually really want to work with. A lot of times a lot of times when I am working with funding business owners, I find that they are attracting, spontaneous approvals. A lot of times when I'm working with credit card business owners, I find that they're attracting people that don't really have enough of a budget and in with them both as well too, also, is that I find that some people don't attract people with enough motivation. And all that, to be able to qualify the type of people you really want to work with, it really all starts out with that ad, making sure that you're attracting really the right type of people. And let me share my screen over here so we can get this part started. All right, let's go. Always on ChatGPT, guys. This is literally my best friend. I'm sure it's a lot of your best friends as well, too. But we're going to be using something a little bit new here. We're using something called the TTO Builder. This is a new GPT that we've been building out with a couple of partnerships, and it's incredible. So previously we had the funding marketing brain, and previously we also had the credit card marketing brain. This over here is also a little bit easier to use. This over here is a little bit easier to use, a little bit more general for all of them, but you just got to make sure that you train it right. All right. And yes, you can go through our prompts over here just to make life easier, but let me kind of give you a quick rundown of it. Let's go to any funding business. All right. This is pretend we're talking about any funding business. It's like pretend we're talking about Lendio over here. Okay. Boom, Lendio. Let's say this is our website here. Unless you guys have some websites you guys want to show to me, I'm going to fully audit them because I want to make sure that we're bringing the high quality people. All right. Here is my site. Boom. Here is all the copy to my site. We grab this. Lendio, he has the Pixel on here, so they probably are advertising. He's also a very big brand as well, too. Great. Now let's go to their Facebook ad library. Let's see what they're currently using right now. One of the best places of sources for information is really just looking at competitors and what's already working in the market. What's working in the market is really dependent on how long the ad is actually out there for, because nobody's really gonna put an ad out there for 2, 3, 4 months and not really be converting for them. Doesn't make sense. So the way that I always look for high converting ads right at the back is look up funding over here, and then I filter out that keyword to people that have had their ads out for at least 4 months plus. Go to filters over here from, that's January 2019. It's a little late. Let's go to 2025. Oh, that's too, wait, that's too early though. You just change this filter out. Let's do this one like 3 months ago. Boom. And now you can see all the ads that are really performing pretty well. And right at the back, what I see something that I really like is like this filtration over here. I love this filtration. Earning 20K per month, hey, I can help you get funded. Boom, right, calling them out right over here. But what I see a lot is that through a lot of competitors' ads, they really they filter out people directly by saying earning 20K per month. I mean, yes, that works, but it might bring you into a kind of a saturated market because a lot of people are starting to do that now. The way to really be able to target those people 20K per month and plus, yes, you can say, hey, revenue 20K plus, but you also should have specific characteristics to be able to attract those type of people. So let me see if Lendio has a couple of ads up here that we can also take a look at. And then we're going to go into training this GPT over here. Boom, boom, boom. Actually, LNDIO. Just want to see. Because maybe we can start off somewhere and give an audit based upon these ads as an example over here. Okay, let's do this one over here. Cool. For the point of this conversation, it's not focused on necessarily credit, it's focused on just funding first. Okay, we can talk about this for credit as well too after. But let's talk about funding first. And more specifically, let's talk about like revenue-based funding, like as an example, like an MCA loan. Okay. And MCA, you really got to be bringing people that are making more than $20,000, $30,000 a month. Great. Site, very end of this. I need help creating. Please audit. Please audit my ad screenshot to make sure I am attracting people that need an MCA, and my main requirements are 30K/month and 2 years plus in business. Starting out with the audit, right? That's the first thing. Short answer, Lendio is doing it wrong. Look at this. And why? Let's read this out really quick. All right. So we're talking about this one specifically. 50-minute application, 24 hours, boom, 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 75 lenders. Okay. Let's see what ChatGPT says about this ad. Pros and cons. So and even before I get into that, first of all, I want to make this known is that when I'm running my ads, I really try to focus on those higher ticket deals specifically for funding. I try to focus, and even for credit pairs as well too. I try to focus on bringing in people that are making more than 10 grand per month. Because anybody making less than 10 grand per month, probably is not going to have enough money to be able to afford my credit pair services. So for funding is the same exact thing. And for funding, I really try to focus on those high ticket deals. I'm not trying to bring in 10K, 20K deals over here because that's not really paying you too much money. I'm really trying to focus on those 100K, 250K, $500,000 deals. Plus, the reason being is because the person that's willing to spend more money to acquire this client ultimately is going to win. So let's keep on going over here. All right. So what does it say about this ad here? Is first that it's saying it's pulling the wrong people over here. It's not signaling MCA. Does not say anything that filters out to 30K plus a month. Does not filter anything out for 2 years in business. And it is inviting, literally as it says over here, desperate early stage low revenue funders. I see this with a lot of ads. Let me do another one over here. Let's look at this one over here. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's go over here. Here is an example. Please audit and tell me how we can make it better. Honestly, some of the quickest success is based upon what's already working and just making it better. Qualification too low, identify still generic, not too much urgency driven over here. So I always preach that when you're trying to close these deals, you want to make sure that you're bringing people that have enough money and also are motivated. One thing that ChatGPT just called us out about this ad over here is that yes, it is filtering out for people that are making more than 20 grand per month in their business, but it's not necessarily filtering out people that want to make a move right now. Let's go back into here. The biggest issue over here, working with new agencies. I'm just trying to close this. Boom, boom. Let me kind of just scroll through here. Okay. So TTO guy, the problem you solve in the ad tells the AI who to target. Right now, you're telling anyone earning revenue who wants fast cash. Something like fast cash or anyone earning revenue. What ends up happening is because this is kind of like targeting like anyone, just like it says, it targets everybody. And what ends up happening when you target everybody, you spend so much time and resources in the back and really filtering out those people to be able to get the people that you really want to work with. So you want to be very, very specific with the ad here. All right, let's keep on going. Card offers same day business funding, great results. That's the hook over here. Still, what is this? Underdeveloped. So saying that the hook can be a little bit better. What's the ideal MCA buyer thinking? I don't need approval. I need timing. I need something quick. Banks don't understand cash flow. Businesses waiting 6 weeks costs more than the factor rate. Okay, so we got to make the hook a little bit better is what it's telling us over here. Relevant controversy increases motivation and filters identity over here. So the ad plays it safe. It's not really bringing out pain points is what it's saying. It's not really honing in those pain points. These pain points honestly convert. Pain points is what motivates people to make action. It's one of the greatest things that can get people to make a decision is emotions and pain points. Okay. While this ad still leaks low quality leads. I hope you kind of get the understanding here of what I'm doing is I'm literally just telling ChatGPT, make me money with ads. ChatGPT, how do I make my ad better? How do I make my ad convert for me? Honestly, guys, it's a lot of times people kind of overthink things, and it doesn't need to be. Some of the best campaigns are really the simplest. I don't think there's anything simpler than this. Boom, let's keep on going down over here. Add a real open loop over here, so earning 20K per month. Early stage owners, maybe something a little better is 30 to 100K. But another thing too, when you're saying monthly revenue amounts as well too, the thing that I'm not too crazy about monthly revenue amounts is that most people use monthly revenue amounts as more so of a limit. Over here, as this ad example states, earning 20K per month. What if I'm coming in and I see this ad and I'm generating 100K, $1 million plus, $10 million plus every single month? I'm like, okay, 20K per month, this is probably not an ad for me. And you just lost an amazing freaking deal. So this revenue requirement, the reason why it's kind of like a red flag, I'm not too crazy about it, is because when you add a limit onto it, it's going to limit your ads. It's not going to allow you to be able to get those higher ticket approvals. Yeah, maybe those might come in spontaneously, because again, you're targeting everybody over here. But if you want to just focus just on those high ticket deals and $1 million plus funding deals, you want to be very, very specific, and you don't want to necessarily have some sort of limit, some sort of cap on there. All right, cool. Add a real open loop over here. Introduce light up more. Let's go through here. MCA fit. Okay. Bottom line, excuse me, the ad is salvageable, unlike the first one. A higher bar identity, one real curiosity loop, one belief confirming tension. Very, very simple, guys. Literally giving us the answers over here. All right, let's say next. We want to make sure, I want to make sure this ad isn't limiting any revenue amounts. I want to focus only on high approval amounts. Please redo this ad copy based on what we are talking about. Oh, that's simple. Let's see. Let's see what it gives us now. See, mentioning revenue minimums, capping income. All right, let's see. All right. Instead of saying you must make X amount a month, we let the approval amount do the filtering. People can qualify larger approvals, self-disqualify mentally. People who can lean in, rebuild, add copy, headline, being approved for 6 figures of business funding, only to realize the real problem isn't approval, it's timing. Most business owners at this stage already know banks are slow, cheap money comes with expensive delays, cash flow, gaps, stall momentum, not ambition. Let's just write this over here, and just so that makes it easy for us to Make this easy to copy and paste into Ad Manager. I just want to be able to kind of see it, nice and simply. Enough of this. What do we deliberately avoided? No 20K, 30K X per month. No fast cash. Means like desperate people. We don't want to work with desperate people, you know. No, any businesses can apply. No education tone. No explain MCA or mechanics or anything like that. Boom, boom, boom. And let's look at this first text over here. We're going to compare it to what originally had. All right, being approved for 6 figures of business funding, only to realize the real problem isn't approval, it's timing. Banks move slow, cheap money comes with expensive delays, and waiting weeks can cost more than funding that actually shows up when you need it. Here's the truth: most business owners already know approval size matters more than interest rate once growth is already in motion. Same-day decisions will impact on personal credit, funds deposit directly into your bank account. This isn't for startups; it's for owners who already know exactly what they would do once capital clears. I feel like this one over here is huge right here, not for startups, but for owners who know exactly what to do with this capital. A lot of times as well too, is that if you say things in an ad um, like bad credit, or if you say things in the ad recent denied, or if you say things in an ad like um, being held back by credit, things like that, these negative things, it's weird because it literally attracts people that are a little bit more victim mindset. It's literally the psychology in the ad. And who would you rather attract? Somebody that's, victim mindset, or somebody that has a clear course and plan of action and knows where they want to go and is willing to invest. I'd rather not work with those victim mentality type of people because those type of people don't really want to make moves. In our last strategy session, we're actually talking about this with credit repair, in which case, when you call out directly attention people with bad credit, those people who self-label themselves as bad credit, bringing better word, low vibration of people, more victim mindset of people. Those aren't always the best guys to be able to convert. So what works better than bad credit is, are you planning on getting approved for your mortgage within the next, month, 2 or 3? That's realistic. It's somebody that's planning on getting approved. Yeah, maybe they recently got denied, but they're planning. They already have this action on here. It just brings out a lot better type of person. And ChatGPT tells you all these answers, which is awesome. Let's get my going over here. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So we just got this copy over here, and it looks great. Now, what I usually do over here, based upon this copy, yes, I always ask for like a direct ad framework, a hook story offer framework, and desire obstacle belief framework. But I want to make sure that we have a scalable approach to be able to put out a whole bunch of ads over here so we can really split test things and understand what's really working, what's converting, and kind of go from there. So what I always ask ChatGPT is literally to build me out an SOP for my graphic designer and my media buyer, which would be me in this case over here, to be able to replicate these ads and get similar results. Build me a SOP for my graphic designer and media buyer to leverage to get similar leverage to get build me an SOP from a graphic designer and media buyer to leverage. Cool. And the reason why I'm doing this is because we kind of already trained all the logic. We plugged in our website over here. We told it exactly what we want. It gave us an audit based upon what's already working, how we can make it better. We're really shortcutting that success. We find what's working. We asked ChatGPT to take what's already working and make it better so we bring higher approvals. We trained this GPT. Now we're asking this GPT to get an SOP to give us a little projects so that whenever we go back in these SOPs, whenever we go back into the ChatGPT over here, we can plug that SOP into here really quick. It trains the brain, and then my graphic designer can replicate these ads really quick based upon the SOP, based upon what's already working. And maybe my media buyer can then look at the SOP, be able to build out copy really quick for me so we can kind of just split test things and see the numbers really quick. But take a look at this. Boom. Core principles: we do not sell speed, money, or ease. Oops, it's still going over here. Let me go to the top over here so we can kind of just take a look at this. All right. The purpose is designed to attract buyers who deploy significant capital, propel low revenue, early stage, or desperate prospects. Train ad platform AI to optimize for quality, not necessarily volume. Because the way that Meta works is that it's going to give you the cheapest cost per result. So you want to be very, very specific. You can quite literally attract people that want to be able to bring in $10 million of funding plus. But you need to be able to make sure that you're using the proper verbiage that they use that's going to attract those people into you. Okay. Core principles, we do not sell speed, money, blah, blah, blah. We signal scale, timing, approval signs. We never state revenue minimums. Boom, 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 because that plays a big thing in psychology. Boom, boom, boom. Repulsion success. If everyone relates, the ad fails. We want to make sure we're being specific with it. Let's keep on going. Excuse me. Graphic designer SOP over here. Okay, so now this is what we're literally just gonna give to the graphic designer. Our graphic designer is gonna take this over here and be able to build some amazing, amazing designs for us. That's really gonna convert. And as you can see over here, it gives them exactly what we need to do. Band visuals over here, money stacks, cash graphics. That's what people just want to look for short-term success, instant miracles, pretty much. You don't work with people that want to win that's betting on a lottery ticket. You don't want to work with those people. You want to work with people that has systems. You want to work with people that knows where that capital should go. So as soon as they get that money in, boom, being deployed, so they can expand their business or whatever they need to do. This way, good, they can come around for another. They can pay that back and go another round for funding.
We can beat that meat.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute you really quick. Welcome, my man. Welcome. If you have any questions, brother, just throw in chat over here. I got you. Thank you, brother. All right. I get a little ADD, whatever it's called, distracted. Let's keep on going though. And by the way, if you just jumping on, this is recorded, so you always got it as well too. Let's keep on going. Okay. So on creative text rules over here. So short, simple, straight to the point. Most people don't like reading, honestly. So it says literally very, very short. What we should not have over here. This is important over here. X per month. Again, that's capping your ad. I want to bring in $1 million plus deals. If you're talking about credit repair, I want to bring in people that are making more than 10 grand per month in the business so they can afford my services. Fast cash is attracting people that want a miracle, that want to scratch a lottery ticket and want to win. You don't really attract those people. Any business, you don't want to work with any business. You want to make sure that you're very, very deliberate on the type of people that you're attracting because those specific type of people are going to bring you in those higher ticket deals. Guaranteed approval, yeah. Okay, let's see what actually works. Approval isn't a bottleneck. Timing beats capital. People that need it fast, but for businesses already in motion, when capital needs to move, serious capital, serious timing. Let's keep on going. Boom, boom, boom. All right, all right. So what's really great is all this, again, can literally be plugged into this ChatGPT. You can send this out to your graphic designer. You can send this out to your media buyer, and boom, you have a very scalable and also replicatable way to be able to deliver ads out, test things, see what works, and be able to really scale up that campaign pretty quickly. So let's keep on going. So now that we built out the copy, now that we built out this marketing brain over here, it's going to allow us to build out this copy. It's going to allow us to build out this graphics as well too. Next step, naturally, we're just going to ask it to deliver. Oh, no, we actually got the copy before this, excuse me. We got the copy over here. The next thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to have some sort of creative, some sort of graphic. Great. Create a graphic. To attract these type of people. All right. While this is loading and creating this graphic, let me go over to the ad manager now to show you how we pretty much set up this ad over here to attract more approvals. Create. And for the point of this conversation, we're to keep things super simple. Honestly, the sales system that you use doesn't really matter. If you're using a lead form, DMs, call funnel, VSL, webinar, doesn't really matter. As long as it's really qualifying people and it has that conditional logic, which I'll go over in a few over here, it doesn't really matter because that sales system, that backend is not really going to change in terms of quality. It just makes your life a little bit easier. The most important part, 99% of your time should really be focused on making a better ad that attracts the right type of people. So let's keep on going over here. We're going to do the simplest way. We're not going to use a call funnel. We're just going to use a simple lead form over here. And again, this is my account over here. So let's keep on going. Best, just always want to make sure that we're labeling things, having good habits over here. So I'm just going to call this lead form to schedule. Nice and simple. Boom, we're going to go to special ad category over here, financial products and services. For credit repair and funding, you got to do that. Okay. Again, I'm focusing more so on funding here, but we're going to break down both of them. So now over here, this middle section over here, this ad section is where you really do the targeting. And I know, Blade, you're saying that the AI scans your ad and sends out to those it resonate with. So to be honest, this detailed targeting over here, it doesn't really make too much of a difference. Honestly, the next 2 to 3 years, this shit is going to be gone. Meta is going into a phase where it's mass use case for everybody. And what that means is Meta is going to make this right here, placing an ad, as simple as freaking possible so that the masses can use Meta. It focuses more just on the AI targeting people, and Meta is going to make a fuck ton more money. But let's keep on going over here. So let's say that we're talking about MCAs over here, revenue-based funding. Let's just bring it over here. So we just give a little bit of a boost. Like if I were to leave this blank if I were to leave this blank compared to adding a little bit of interest-based targeting over here, specifically for a new pixel, it's going to make the difference of like a $5 cost per lead. Not too much, but in scale, it does make a little bit of a difference. And well, too, as you train this pixel, as you're teaching this data set, more and more of the type of people that you really want to attract by using what's called conversion API and conditional logic, which we'll go into in a second, you're going to find that your cost per lead, your cost per result is going to start dropping. And if you're doing the right way, as that cost per lead or cost per result or cost per schedule starts dropping, your quality should be increasing. And the reason being is because you're teaching Facebook continuously how to bring me in better clients, how to bring me in the type of people that I really want to work with. All right, let's type in loan over here. We can do like line of credit as an example. I mean, that is more so for credit-based lending. I'm talking about like 0% interest, credit card stacking stuff. Loan, line of credit, funding. We can do pre-qualification. Pre-qualification lending. Those are usually the ones that I go with because they don't really have any more on there. Because when you use a special ad category, it doesn't really give you too many options. I don't want to use credit on here because I don't want to mix up the message. Honestly, I don't even want to use line of credit over here because that is really focusing on credit-based funding. For the point of this over here, I really want to focus more so on revenue-based funding, as in like an MCA. If you were to do more so credit-based lending, then yes, loan pre-qualification, maybe add credit on here. Let me also talk about credit repair because I do got a couple of people on this call that are doing credit repair as well too. So if you're rocking credit repair, I usually focus on either the angle of like dream home denials because of shitty credit or recently been denied for funding because of shitty credit. And let's talk about this. So if it's recently dream home denials, it's gonna be more so like credit over here, as in they recently checked out their credit score. And also they are looking actively at like real estate sites. Trulia, you got Zillow, you got Property Finder, first time buyer, maybe starter home, not too crazy about. Another one would be like mortgage loan, maybe mortgage calculator. What I'm saying though is that you can be very, very specific. This person just looked at their Credit Karma over here. Credit. I mean, you can even type an Experian on here or Credit Karma. But then you narrow it down to people that looked at their credit and they're conscious about their credit score, and they are also actively shopping on like Zillow, realestate.com, etc. Another example over here, that's dream home denials. The other example might be like funding denials. Very, very simple, credit, same exact thing. Boom, credit, narrowed down to people that looked at their credit that have also looked at loans or pre-qualification. Again, adding these interest-based targeting on here, makes a small difference. Very, very small difference. 99.99999% of the targeting is literally done in the creative, done in this marketing brain that we just talked about here. But we're going to go back to the funding conversation. So I'm going to delete this over here. We're going to go replace this with loan. Loan, we're not going to do line of credit. Maybe you can do like lending, pre-qualification as an example over here. Cool. I'm going to go over here, just call it loan and pre-qualification. Spelling, cool. Over here, if we're talking about funding over here, honestly, I would not really go less than like $50 a day. The reason being is because the average cost per call over here is going to be like 30, 40, maybe $50. When you first starting it out, it might even launch out around 60 to like $80. And it's going to gradually go down. So with that being said, if you want to get at least one call per day, on average calls coming in around $50, you're going to have to spend $50 per day. This means you get at least one qualified call per day. Let's Keep on going over here. Everything else, honestly, keep the same. Placements, keep the freaking same. Keep it simple. All right. Now is where we actually create the form, implement the creative. This is the ads level. This is the creative level. Great. So let's just take a look over here at the image it gave us. Approved for 6 figures of funding. Timing costs more than waiting for cheap money. See your approval amount today. So whenever I do things like this, let me pull up my SOP over here, just so I can show you that I always practice what I preach. I want to show you our SOPs. It's literally the same exact thing. Ad design, here we go. Cool. Dream home denial ad SOP. Same exact thing. If we're talking more so about, what we got? We're talking about more so revenue-based funding. Boom. Here's the SOP. This one I really tailor down for enterprise level funding, as in people that want $1 million of funding plus. So bigger, higher ticket deals. Now the next thing I'm gonna do over here is I'm gonna ask ChatGPT again. Audit this creative so that we can focus on bringing in high ticket deals and people that need to start now. Boom. Like literally second guessing ChatGPT. But yo, double check your work. I want to make sure they only have the best ads here. Look at this. It looks expensive, but it triggers the wrong type of motivation. All right, right now it's contracts. That would be nice instead of this delay is costing me money daily. You know, whenever I do a graphic, whenever I do copy, I repeatedly ask ChatGPT, is this the best that we can do? Because I always, of course, you want to put up the best ads out there. You want to make sure that your shit's making you money. Okay. So what this is attracting, what ChatGPT is telling me is that this is attracting people like, hey, okay, this could be nice. Yeah, I could use some funding, but I don't really have a pain point that's forcing me that I need money now. So let's keep on going. Timing costs more than money for cheap, fix. Example, how much has waiting already costed you? Attracting people that are actually losing money because they don't have funding. For example, like restocking shelves. Are you actively losing money because you don't have the capital to restock your shelves? It was just holidays. You probably just sold everything. And because you're still running ads, because you still have all that customer support and fulfillment and all that, teams and salary and stuff, because your shelves aren't stocked, you're actively losing on money because you have nothing to sell. Those are the type of people you want to attract. People that are super freaking motivated to get started right now. All right, let's keep on going. Visual audit, money stacks. I'm not too crazy about money stacks. Dopamine wanting money, approved validation, low ticket psychology, high ticket buyers don't want money, relief from constraint is what they want. Apply now. I'm not too crazy about that. Audit, confirm your approval window, verify capital, see what clears. Now check your approval. All right, I see where I'm going. High ticket reframe, boom, boom, boom. Great. Recreate this ad based on what we are talking based on this. Boom. And now that this is creating the actual graphic, let's go back over to here. This is where we create the ads. And let's start out with the actual form over here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Now, we always want to make sure that we are labeling things right. Just have them really just go to habits over here. So let's just call this MCA, put a dash, and then I always write like what we're asking for. For example, MCA, we really just, let's say as an example, our main requirement is bring people that are making more than 30 grand per more in their business. Let me put my headphones on really quick. Mic check, mic check. All right, let's go. Give me a second. Quick second. Just want to make sure my Bluetooth stuff is off over here. So I'm on with this. All right. Okay, cool. Cool. So let's keep it going over here. So what I was saying is that I want to make sure that we're naming things habits over here. So we're going to ask for not budget habit, monthly rev and then contact info. That's the main thing that we really need. I mean, yes, we could ask for time in business, but let's keep on going over here. Require leads to verify the phone number with a one-time passcode. I'm not too crazy about the one-time passcodes. I don't know if you guys have been in Meta and had those issues where you ask Meta to be able to send you out a code and the code never comes to you. What's always better, I find, is really to be able to verify the phone number, which I'll show you where that would be. Let's keep on going over here. Optimize for delivery. That's fine. Keep on going. I like to add the background image on here. Boom, boom, boom. And headlines we're going to work on in a second over here. All right, this gave us this copy over here. Six-figure front approval doesn't mean momentum. Boom, boom, boom. Now, all this honestly can really just be replaced. I mean, can be done for you right through ChatGPT again, through the TTO builder. All right, let's go to questions here though to start. You want to make sure you check off conditional logic. Honestly, that's the most important part because again, you don't want to be wasting time on the phone. You really don't want to be wasting time on the phone waiting for people to show up, and they show up. You have to start a conversation where you sell them, and you find out they're not even making more than 30 grand per month in their business. You can't even get them funded. That's a waste of time. So you want to make sure that you're screening these people out. All right. What is your business? What is your cool monthly revenue? So let's go like boom under 10K. 10K through 30K. Let's do 30K through 50. 50 through 100. Gosh. 50 through 100K. Cool. And like I said, with this conditional logic, we want to make sure that people that are under 30K, we don't want to talk to those people. Why waste your time with these people? No point. And as well, too, you want to make sure you're constantly training this pixel to bring you people that are already making more than 30K. So by pressing this closed form, you're disqualifying these people. It's going to train the pixel to bring you in people that are 30K plus, 50K plus, 100K plus. Boom. But we also need to understand, wait, let me go to submit form and page for leads here. This one over here, submit form and page for leads. Over here, submit form and page for leads. But we also got to understand, the more that we ask for these people, as in if we were to disqualify for 30 to 50K, it's going to increase that cost per result. But then again, if you're increasing that cost per result, you want to make sure that you're doing it in the right way, increasing that cost per result, making sure that you're bringing in higher approvals. Because again, the higher approvals, if it's a higher ticket deal, you're willing to spend more money to attract a higher ticket deal. Might as well focus on just the higher ticket deals. Let's someone going, sorry, someone had a question over here. Is it better to use Facebook form or use Typeform like we set up with Zapier? Honestly, they both work. I find that Typeform works a little bit better. It's a little bit cleaner, and it also has a little bit more capability in terms of training the pixel, in terms of tracking. So long run, building your empire, Typeform, no doubt. Short thing, you want to launch something really quick, a lead form. Again, the difference between Typeform and a lead form over here, Typeform, I do see it has a cheaper cost per lead slightly, but that using a Typeform or a lead form isn't going to change quality. What's really going to increase quality, as in bringing in people that want higher approval amounts, bringing people that have a higher credit score, bringing in people that have a higher monthly revenue, is going to be in the actual creative. This lead form over here, this Typeform, is just a system to bring those people into you. It's a system to filter those people into you. And again, I like Typeform just because it just looks a little more professional. And because it looks a little more professional, I believe also loads a little bit quicker, so it has a slightly cheaper cost. Let's keep on going. And if you have questions, again, don't hesitate. That's what I'm here for. All right. Another thing, another requirement could also be is like time in business. You can disqualify for people that are under a year or under 2 years. But again, the more questions that you disqualify people out for, the more likely, the more it kind of creates friction. When you create friction, people are less likely to submit that survey. When people are less likely to submit that survey, it's going to increase that cost per result. But as long as you have this conditional logic set up over here, through time, through optimization, AI optimizing itself, it will decrease that cost per result. As an example over here, what was it called? Well, business debt adjusters, cool guy. We launched this campaign. We were buying data. We're spending a lot of fucking money on data, like 15 G's a month, spending a lot of money on this. What I'm saying though is it's super weird because as soon as that data was coming in, it was hitting and it was giving us the cost per lead of like $100 plus. It was literally doing worse than my cold audience ads. But then, week two into running that intent data, that cost per result like literally dropped and cut in half because the AI optimizes itself out to really find the type of people you're going to work with. That's why conditional logic is so important. If you're using Typeform, you're using what's called conversion API, in which case, when people disqualify, it doesn't send information to the pixel. It's literally ones and zeros with this pixel. It's either you train it or you don't train it. If you're training it, you're bringing people that are more than 30K per month. Your Typeform your Typeform would on the Typeform, they would say, hey, I'm making more than 30K a month. The pixel will fire, and that pixel will send that data back to the conversion API will send that data back to the pixel, further teaching to bring people that have that monthly revenue amount that you want to work with. That's why that's so important. Let's keep on going over here. Let's clean it up. Doesn't really matter though. Contact information. Next one over here, this is kind of simple. I always make sure, and it takes a little on here. It does take a little playing around with because you want to make sure it's name, email, and phone number. It's just what I found to be the most frictionless way to be able to bring contact info just by running a lot of split testing. So kind of play around with it. I've done this a couple of times, a little bit more used to it. Boom, boom, boom. Name, email, contact fields, phone number. Boom. That's really just how you want to have it set up. As you can see over here, I messed something. Oh, intro is what I messed. Cool. Question: what's your monthly revenue? And once we're done with this, we're also going to QC it. Link your privacy policy. If you guys don't already have a privacy policy, you can generate with ChatGPT, or you can literally just go to Meta free policy. Creator. I can't type today for some reason. All right. Doesn't matter what you use, they're all the same shit. Company name, the project alpha. Blade at the project alpha.com. There we go. Boom. Spelling. Cool. Copy that. Instant privacy policy generator. So if you're trying to be quick with stuff because time is money. Boom. Next thing over here, the ending. This is also pretty important. First, start conversations on Messenger because sometimes you can get those low. First, let me explain. What this means is that when somebody submits this lead form, that information, name, phone number, monthly budget, will be sent to your IG DMs or your Facebook DMs. So you're creating a conversation with the starting of the conversation being that application info, as if they sent it to you. And then you can either have an automation on here that nurtures them out, push them into a scheduled call, or you can have it notify you and you can just jump in that conversation, talk to them, and hopefully get some low-hanging fruits and convert people directly off of chat. My game plan is always to be able to see if I can sell on chat first, then phone, then Zoom call. Reason being is because Zoom call has the highest rate of closing clients. Texting is the opposite, but I'm always trying to expel the least amount of time as possible, least amount of energy as possible. So if I can close somebody through chat, heck, that's what I'm going to do. If I can get those low-hanging fruits on chat, I'm going to close those people on chat first. I'm trying to just get the low-hanging fruits first. Cool. Let's keep going over here. The next thing over here is the actual end pages over here. You got two end pages here. You got something for non-leads, and you got something for leads over here. For leads, what I always push people into doing is to be able to schedule out a call with you. My goal of this is to pre-qualify people, make sure that they're a good fit, and then get them on a call with you. So my headline is, you're almost there, kindly schedule. Because what I found is that if you leave it the same as whatever it said over there, I forgot what it said, people are just going to jump off. They're going to think they're done. But you want to make sure you tell them, hey, you're not done yet. Take the next step and schedule out a call. This in itself will well, not necessarily force, but just based upon averages, every 2 to 3 leads that submit this lead form will now schedule a call just because of what I did on this M page over here. On the contrary, it would be a lot more than that. So just making sure that you have the best chances of closing deals. Cool. Next step over here is to be able to put the calendar link on here. Auto action, I just have schedule now. Let me show you where I grab my calendar link from. Because you can do a couple of things. Obviously, you can use a call funnel. You can use a VSL. But if you're trying to just get things up now and quick, and you haven't really built anything out, this also works too. Let me go back and share my screen again. Cool. So you go into, let me show where this would be. You go into here, you would hit settings over here, you would go into calendars over here, and these are the calendars that you have over here. You know, I just kind of keep myself organized. You grab this, you grab the share link over here. What this looks like is, let me show you, it's just a plain old calendar. You know, so it's not really a funnel, it just takes them directly to here. Here's another thing that you want to optimize. We'll go over this after. But boom, I got the calendar link. I'm gonna throw it onto here. This over here, I would not have this exit your form over here. Description, I have a better description, but we're gonna ask ChatGPT for in a second. Next step is to schedule. I have an SOP built down on this. I'm gonna show you that, but let me show you how it generated first, actually. Okay, so we're going back to over here. What did this do? We create this ad based upon this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, well, now we're going to ask it to create the actual graphic. So it just told us based upon, so previous what we just did over here is we created the ad, which was this. And then we asked ChatGPT to re-audit this creative. How can I make it better? So we're literally doing this like twice. We found an ad that's already performing, that's already converting. We told ChatGPT to make this even better ad, and it gave us this. And then we asked it again to make that ad, audit that, tell me everything that can hold that back, and make it even better. All right, now we're going to ask it to generate the graphic. And then as it's generating the graphic, let's see what it said would hold back this ad. If rebuild subject, okay. Remove completely cache tags. I agree with that. Remove stamps, buttons inside the creators, emojis, countdown, urgency graphics. Wise version will pull high ticket deals. 6-figure funding language, operational tone, open loop, forces the viewer to access consequences, not desire. Like I was saying previously, the number one thing that really gets people to convert or make a decision really is like pain points, is emotions. Emotions get people to want to buy. So talking about that consequences, and you know, there's 2 types of ads that I really see out there. And I see a lot of people doing like what I call direct ads. Direct ads as in, hey, do you need funding? We can help you get funding. And that targets like everybody. That targets really everybody, and it forces you to spend a lot of time on the back end really pre-qualifying people out. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you're very, very specific on the type of person you're trying to attract. Somebody that's already as a type of person that has problems of somebody that needs $1 million of funding plus. Again, focus on those bigger deals.
Wait, Javier?
Hey, Jasmine, if you don't mind, I'm gonna mute you because I'm going on something over here. I kind of get ADD sometimes. I lose it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Throw it in chat. Raise your hand. I'm happy to help. Let's keep on going over here. All right, cool. Uproar refrains waiting while real risk. Urgency comes from loss, not hype. Again, focusing on those pain points. Hey, if you aren't getting capital, you are losing money. Going back to that stock and shelves angle that I was talking about before, e-commerce business owner, you are losing money because your shelves are not stocked. That pain points drives a person that's a lot more motivated than, hey, I can help you get funded. Let's keep on going. All right, so regenerate the graphic, 6-figure approval momentum delay is more expensive than capital. Very, very simple ad. To be honest, I kind of love this ad. Delay is more expensive than capital. Now let's do the next thing over here. So we already generated the copy. So generate. So whenever I put out ads, I generate 3 types of copies. I generate a direct framework, which is Ty Lopez. This is preloaded with his stuff. I generate a hook story offer, which I think is Russell Brunson or Alex Hormozy, and a desired obstacle belief. I might be switching those people up. What I'm saying, those are just the best converting copy frameworks. Generate a direct copy framework. Build businesses in motion. Boom. And then now that I have this copy, I'm gonna again ask ChatGPT, hey, is this the best type of copy that I can really put out there? Based upon me trying to bring in X, what could I do to this copy here to make it even better? All right, so over here, seek your pros and momentum, avoid explain the solution. Okay, cool. So create, give me, paste, add copy. Boom. First, let me get the actual ad copy, which kind of just explaining itself. I love this. At this stage, the real risk isn't interest rate. It's what breaks while you're waiting. Literally, this is attracting people that is losing money because they haven't gotten funded. Those are probably the most motivated people you can probably work with because they need money. They're literally losing money because they don't have money. All right, cool. So give me a couple of them. Give me the best, which will probably be the one on the top. And then I'm going to ask for a DOB, HSO. I'm going to keep on going back into the lead form. Kind of like jumping around over here, guys. So if you need me to like slow down, just raise your hand, comment, however can help here. I'm here to make you more money. All right, so best control add copy. This is it. Boom, get the hell on. We got the description. Nice. Next thing we're going to ask for it is first, I need an intro. I need an intro. We're going to ask it for it. I have an SOP that we usually use, but I just want to show you how we generate this stuff. Here is my lead form. Create the headline and bullet point description. I like to use bullet points. I don't like to just use a big paragraph on here. I find that a big paragraph. People don't like to read, honestly. So if you bullet point it, it's easier for people to read really quick. And the reason why we do that is we want to make sure we're filtering out people that aren't a good fit. Let's keep it going. All right. Best form. All right. The Lang is more expensive than capital. Let's go. More expensive than capital. This form is for owners who already feel the cost of waiting. Oh, I love that. People that are motivated. What's the next one? Approvals alone don't protect momentum. Timing does. Time is money. Boom. Growth stalls when capital moves slower than operations. Boom. Same thing decisions with no personal credit impact. Boom. Will this affect my credit? No, it's all based upon revenue, at least for this specific angle. If you're still thinking about it, this isn't for you. If time matters, continue. Boom, that's perfect. All right, while this works, all right, let's keep on going over here. So we've got the greeting, we got the questions, oh, we got the description. I have a specific thing that I say on here. It is, you protect your information. Let me just ask ChatGPT rather than look at my SOP. Give me the description saying we will use this info to contact you, and we will not sell your info because that shit can get you in trouble. So you always want to state that, especially talking about finance. Yeah. Okay, I don't like how long that is. We use information to contact you by request. It's private and will not be sold. Simple. Nice. Exactly how we like it. Nice and simple. Nice and easy for people to read. Let's go. Let's go. All right, we got the privacy policy. We got the ending. All right, so we already talked. Oh no, we got to finish this one up because we need the description. Can I zoom out a little bit? Yeah, maybe do it easier. All right. Optimize my headline. My end screen. headline, and description. So for people that are just joining in as well too, what we did over here is we built out a marketing brain that's pre-programmed based upon the type of people that we really, really want to attract in here. So we're using this marketing brain for really all of our copy, our lead forms, our ads, our creatives, everything. And as well too, we also built out SOP all the way up here so that whenever we go into chat, to be like this SOP over here, just save it to your notes. And then whenever you go into another chat, boom, paste into here, and it automatically will program this chat. All right, let's keep it going. So, okay, we want to make sure headline time manager your call now. Description, you're taking the first step. The next step is determine how quickly cap the move. Schedule your call now. I like this one over here. All right. Boom. Nice and simple. Now they know. Next step, schedule a call. And now for the non-leads, as in people that are on here, just gotta stop calling me. Okay. Now, what was I saying? Okay, so for the people that disqualify, as in the people that are under 30K a month, people that really can't really get an MCA, or it's not even worth getting them an MCA because they're not making enough money. Those would be the non-leads. Those are people who are disqualifying. Those are the people that we're not sending back to the pixel, so that it only teaches the pixel to bring in people that are making more than 30 grand per month. Let's keep on going over here. Thank you for interest. Based upon answers, might be a good fit for you, but as I always check out our website. But if you think we made a mistake, let us know. Click below to see, to check out our site. Cool, nice and simple. And now what this pretty much does over here is, so we have two end screens over here. The first one was directly, hey, schedule out a call, you're a great fit. The second one is check out our website. And what ends up happening over here is, like, let's say we're using my Lendy over as an example. Boom. What ends up happening is if somebody hits that website and they still contact you or schedule a call, they kind of just qualify themselves. They're a lot more interested. So they kind of make themselves a good fit. You keep on going over here. Boom, entry for leads, entry for non-leads over here. Again, starting conversations on Messenger so you can get the low-hanging fruit. Select partner app, kind of keep it how it is. And making sure that we name it the right thing. I always want to make sure that when you're going through these things, you want to double check everything because it's weird. Sometimes when you're running an ad, like Meta can be glitchy. We all deal with technology. We all know what technology can be. It might be human error. It might be technology error. You don't know, but you want to make sure that you catch things. Delay is more expensive than capital. All this looks good. I'm just not too crazy about the EM dashes. Approvals alone don't protect momentum. Timing does. It just looks not like AI. It looks a little bit more like a human wrote it, which I kind of like better. What is your monthly revenue? Boom. All that's running right. Non-leads. Good leads. Boom. Name, email, phone number. Very, very simple lead form. Making sure that we're only tracking people that are more than 30K per month in their business. Create form. Let's go. All right. So again, this form over here is really only a way to be able to organize and systematize your leads. Over here, we integrate this with Go High Level. Where that's going to be found is over here on your settings. You're going to go into integrations. You're going to go to Facebook form fields and mapping. As you can see over here, boom, here's my field. Now I'm going to type in monthly revenue. Monthly revenue over here is my field. Full name, boom, boom, boom. And now let's pretend like I don't have this field over here. I type in monthly revenue, but it's not appearing. Where does that appear from? So somebody might have that question. All you got to do is go to custom fields and you add that monthly revenue. Single line, boom, monthly revenue, boom. All right, let's keep on going over here. We integrated that lead form onto here so that whenever somebody becomes a lead, a qualified lead, it's automatically synced up and imported into my Go High Level account. A couple other things that you probably gonna want to set up over here, as an example, is that when that lead comes in, you're going to want to be able to do two things that are most important, honestly. The first thing is you want to notify yourself. Whenever a new lead comes in, you want to notify yourself. Get those low-hanging fruits. If they come in, give them a call, shoot them a text. Get those low-hanging fruits right now. Money today is better than money tomorrow. Absolutely. But very, very basic stuff over here. Start from scratch. Workflow, always want to make sure new lead, notify, and op as an opportunity. Send to opportunity. I'll show what I mean by this in a second here. All right, cool. The trigger can be a couple of things. It could be new contact created. Contact created. What that means is that any person that hits your CRM, this workflow is going to fire. But let's say that we don't want to be for every single contact, because let's say you're doing other marketing avenues that you don't want this workflow to trigger upon. No worries. Facebook lead form. Honestly, I would just keep it as any, just to make life a little bit easier. But when somebody submits that Facebook lead form, which is this over here, boom, this workflow will now activate. Well, at least as soon as I press publish over here. Basic things that you want to have on this workflow. I like text message notifications. This notification over here is like an in-app notification. So we have download the Lead Connector app, boom, pop-up notification saying, hey, there's new lead has came. I like the text message notifications. They just make sure I see text a little bit better because I'm always getting notifications. 001 565 5506. Boom. New lead. Custom values, contact, full name. Let me explain something really quick too. Phone, email, monthly, rev. These are the questions that we had in that pre-qualification form. Let's go into here. And I want to explain this over here. Contact and user, because I hear this question a lot. I get this question actually a lot. I think somebody actually submitted the type form recently about this question. So what I'm saying is that contact is the lead. User is you. The user that's using the account is you. Contact is the lead coming into your account. I hope that makes sense. Let's keep on going here. You want to get a phone. Actually, want to get his email. And then the last one would be like monthly revenue. So go back over here, just type in the revenue. What is your, I think this is monthly revenue. Monthly revenue. Cool, perfect. Send out a test. Oh, I gotta do a +1. Oops. Cool. Pull up my phone. Boom. New lead, Blade Torado, phone number, email, monthly revenue. Boom. Nice and simple. So that's a notification. So as soon as the lead comes in, boom, it notifies you. So you can then hustle it out, make your moolah. Next thing that I'll probably add, a notification pipeline stage. Just very, very basic stuff over here, just so you can get rocking and rolling ASAP. I like to add them onto the pipeline. Well, you should add them to the pipeline so you can track the client journey. Name this just leads. And I'll show you where this shows up next. And what you're probably going to do is send them out a quick text. Hey, thanks for your interest. When is a good time to hop on a call about your approval? Whatever, simple. Hey, contact, first name, hey, Ron, thanks for your interest. Boom, boom, when is a good time? Nice and simple, copy that. Maybe you want to send them out an email as well too. I mean, you can always change this out using the markup that we just built out. These you can really leave blank, but then it'll automatically go to default as in whatever the location email is. Nice and simple. Keep that simple. Let's pretend that's good for now. And then as well, remember when I was telling you that the way that we set up these ads is that it's going to create a conversation in Messenger over here, like IG or Facebook. So what I'd also recommend is if you're already going that far and sending an SMS and text, might as well send them on Messenger. Boom. Might as well send them Instagram DM because somebody might come from a Facebook or somebody might come in from an Instagram ad. Set them up in both. But the thing is, if somebody comes from a Facebook ad, it's not like it's going to send them to Instagram. If somebody comes from an Instagram ad, it's not like it's to send them to Facebook. Wherever they're coming from is where it's going to send that message out to. Cool. Next couple of things over here. Obviously, make sure you save it. Boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna make sure I label this as like test, just so I know. Cool. Oh, I don't want to publish this because I do have ads going up right now. I can't answer right now. I'm on a live. But, excuse me. Excuse me. Hey, sorry, excuse me, guys. I'm on a mastermind call right now. All right, cool. Sorry. All right, so this is like a basic workflow for any new leads coming in. It notifies you, it sends them a message, and it puts them onto this opportunity. The opportunity, what I mean by that is over here. It's like a Trello board, it's like a pipeline stage. This is where it shows your entire pipeline stage. This is where it shows your entire client journey. Just gonna keep track of stuff. Another automation that you're probably gonna want to have is something like appointment reminders. So we just did, which one did we just do? Oh, it's probably on the second page. Let me open this up. Okay, task newly notified, boom. Another workflow that you probably want to do, create workflow. Let's just select a template over here. Because they have appointment reminders, customer appointment. Boom, choose template over here. Okay, trigger appointment, confirmation email, boom, boom, boom. Edit this up your own way. The only one thing I'm going to change out here is first making sure your trigger's right, making sure that it goes to the specific calendar that you're working with. For example, I don't know, funding business audit, boom. The next thing I would recommend is that there's two things going on right now. Is that when somebody becomes a lead, it's an activate that lead workflow. Encourage them to schedule out a call. Once they schedule out a call, appointment reminders go off. But if they schedule out a call, you don't want to send them out new leads, push them into scheduling out a call again, because they already scheduled a call. So right in the very beginning of this workflow, you want to do what's called a remove from workflow. Here. Move from workflow, not the current workflow, all workflows except this current one. It just makes sense. So what ends up happening is once they become a new lead, boom, it sends out the new lead nurture. But if they become a new lead and also schedule out a call, it removes them from the new lead nurture and puts them into here. And then you just want to have the opportunity status and just making sure it goes into the next stage of the client journey, which would be like schedule out a call over here. Boom, save action. Nice and simple. And again, what that really does is just brings them into that pipeline stage, continuing that client journey over here. Okay, so we talked about lead form, a couple of basic automations and how to set them up. Another thing too, an upgrade to this is to be able to have them confirm the call. As in they respond yes to confirm the call. Kind of simple to set up is, let's say over here, the last one's like, hey, make sure you respond yes to confirm the call. What you just do is do a wait, and kind of go through this really quick. Switches out for a wait for reply to any of these previous steps over here. Let's say all these are asking, hey, confirm, reply yes to confirm the call. You have it go to there. And you an if, else, build your own, contact replied, boom, contact replied, true, replied, add segment as in no reply. Actually, you can have a timeout as well too. But let's just do no reply. Yeah, no reply. Contact replied, false, save. And what ends up happening, it creates this little fork in the workflow over here. So if they replied, boom, SMS back. Hey, thanks for confirming. Excited to talk at over here. You're gonna hit appointment, start date and time, and I also like to add time zone. Boom. Nice and simple. If they don't reply, as in they don't confirm, hey, we have to cancel out of this call if we don't hear back from you. Simple. Boom. This way you're just not wasting time. And if you cancel out the call, you can just go to appointments over here, update appointment status, cancel. Option 2 would be copy action, paste into here, get it confirmed, boom. confirmed, or you can just mark it as showed as an example. The reason I'm saying showed is because calendars usually set to automatically confirm, especially if you want to have it so that after they schedule a call and it goes over to the next thank you page and it has a button to add to the Google and iCalendar, you have to set the calendar to automatically confirm. So once I respond yes, as in kind of like confirming again, I usually just mark this as showed. And what I mean by this, and I believe this is very important, is just making sure that your calendar allows for automatic confirmation. You go into here, forms and payments, I believe it's in, and consent box, no, confirmation, auto confirm new calendar meetings. Again, what this does is when you auto confirm the meeting, it allows the Google Calendar to integrate so that they can press the Google Calendar button and adds the Google Calendar, iCalendar. If you don't have that, it won't allow that to work. All right, cool. Point runners, new lead nurture. Let me talk a little bit more about pipeline stages here, and then go back into the ads. I know I'm kind of jumping around here. So it's like a blank account here. But I'm showing this because this is what your stages really should look like. This one over here is more so for credit-based funding, but take a look at this. My stages, let's just focus just on the funding stuff. Okay, my stages are so freaking simple. Funding lead, engaged, submit an application, scheduled call, missed call, hot, sold, not interested. They tell you to F off. Yeah, you just push my D&D. Honestly, the submit application over here is really when you're using Typeform, and lead over here is when they do like kind of like a half submission, so you can kind of just re-engage with people. And then for the half submission over here, I mean, you can even keep it simple. You can even remove this. What I'm saying though is that this funding lead stage is where we do all the nurturing. As emails and text messages go out on a funding lead stage, and then when somebody replies to that, boom, moves over to engaged. This way, if you're doing some natural organic hustling, reach out to people that reach engaged first. Scheduled onboarding, send out appointment reminders, make them confirm, maybe even do what's called a value add campaign, which is that and I love this for ads. It's that every 2 to 3 hours you shoot them out an email, and that email shoots testimonials, case studies, talks about the process, shows why you're different than others, etc. Pretty much providing them value, showing off trust in order to encourage them in order to make that actual sales call just a lot easier. When they see a lot more value from you prior to the call, they just get more excited. They're more excited to be able to, and they trust you more because you led with value. Next thing over here, this pre-board just blowing up my phones. Next thing over here is the missed call. Very, very simple. Honestly, this in itself brings back 30% of the missed calls I'm working with. That's some funding, that's some credit, that's my agency as well. I see that statistic around the back, that kind of how it is. And all this really is that for the next 3 days, is shooting out emails and text messages. Hey, you missed this call. We typically charge for this call, but if you can reconfirm right now, we'll waive that fee. Simple. Encourage them to bring it back into scheduling a call with you or reschedule. Funding hot is like, hey, I need to think about it. I'm getting paid by the end of this week. I got to talk to my wife about it. Boom, funding hot. And you're shooting out emails and text messages, encouraging them you're shooting out emails and text messages, talking about, and pretty much future pacing them, building trust, keeping you on top of the prospect's mind so that when they talk to the wife about it, or when they got paid on that Friday, or when whatever it might be, you're always on top of mind because you're always sending them out these emails over here showing why they should choose you, future pacing these people into your program. Funding sold, simple emails, text messages asking for referrals and testimonials. Not interested, kind of when somebody just tells you to F off, you put them on DND and you remove them from all your lists. Simple. Helps out with your email score as well too. Email deliverability. Cool. Let's go back into here. We already created this lead form over here. Again, I am jumping around from things. Excuse me, guys. If you have questions, I'm going too fast. Just don't hesitate to let me know. I'm happy to help. Let's go. All right. So what we just did over here is we did the lead form, but I see an issue over here is the website. So what this means is that we selected it for website and instant forms. I always do one at a time. When you optimize for two, it kind of confuses the system. The system wants to be very, very specific on the type of people you're trying to attract, which is why I never do credit-based lending and also revenue-based lending at the same time, which is why I never do dream home denials for credit repair and funding denials for credit repair at the same time. It doesn't make any sense. You want to optimize it to one specific action for one specific pain point. The best way to scale. All right, let's keep on going over here. Boom. This is what I was talking about. Require SMS verification. This is better than having to type in some sort of passcode because this just delivers better. It's just, you just pick up a couple of tricks as you do this shit. All right, let's keep on going over here. Creative. So what do we do here? Best end screen, we got that. We do already get the direct copy. We did. Where was it? Let me scroll up over here. All right, this one over here. Check out your approval window. Okay. Okay, the only thing about this copy that I do not like is two things. EM dashes, because some people can be a little finicky, and overall you just want to have the best chances of success, decrease the most amount of friction as possible. Sometimes these things are called EM dashes over here. And sometimes if you have somebody that's super, super particular on what they're looking at, you might see the EM dash and immediately think that, oh, this is ChatGPT. Screw this. I'm going to find somebody else. I'd rather not work with AI. So again, you just want to have the best chance of closing deals. All right, so give me the direct add copy, but remove EM dashes and make the call to action. Submit, fill out a quick form to see if it's a good fit, then schedule call. Boom. There we go. Isn't it brings making waiting? Boom. Fill out a quick form to see if it's a good fit, then schedule a call. Nice and simple. Again, what you can even do again is like re-audit this again, show me how I can make it better. And it kind of get these like micro fragments of getting a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. But right now, this is really good. I like this. Cut out creative, image ads. Hey, Blay, what converted better, image ads or video ads? When we first starting out, I love using graphics first. Reason being is you can split test a lot of offers really, really quickly. You can make a graphic in only a couple of minutes. Like over here, ChatGPT print this out for me in like under 5 minutes. The thing I'm not too crazy about video ads, especially when you're first starting out, is because you got to give them a script. You gotta record the script. You got to edit it. You got to go through post production, as in, hey, you got to fix this and this. Well, re-edit it again, and then you can post it. It's a lot of moving steps, and it takes time. Time is money. I love graphics because they graphics versus videos, they both convert. As long as the offer's right, they're going to convert. But what I'm saying is that graphics, you can put out a whole bunch of different headlines, a whole bunch of different offers, really split test things in a very, very quick way. So you can find out what's converting quick, and then what's converting quick, then make a video based upon what's already converting. I find that videos usually just build a lot more trust than graphics. I'm not saying that they perform better, a little bit, but you want to make sure that first it's converting first. And the best way to be able to do that is by putting out a fuck ton of graphics, see what converts best, and doing that. Let's keep on going. All right, so boom, 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 drag and drop this in. Boom, let's grab the text over here. So this is the direct ad copy. And I love this headline, delay is more expensive than capital. Boom, I love that. We have this other one over here. All right, so optional shorter variant. Oh, I don't want to use the optional shorter. When timing is the bottleneck. I like these both. I don't want to use that shorter one. I would rather use this one a little bit longer over here. But I'm still going to use both headlines. Whenever I do this, I like to have 3 different copies. I said the direct one, the deal being an HSO, hook, give me a hook story offer framework. These are just the 3 copy frameworks that I find just ultimately just convert the best. And it makes sense because Alex Hormozi, Russell Brunson, Tyler Lopez preach about them all the time in all the books. It makes sense. All right. Make it easy for me to copy and paste into the ad manager. There, boom. Once it loads up. Oh, it's giving me right here. But you just gotta have remove this labeling so it makes it easy. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. This is the hook story offer. It's got a same day decision, build a business in motion. This would be the description. That's interesting. Sometimes you can add only one description, sometimes you can add more. Sometimes it's weird. All right, so we got this over here. Give me a desire, obstacle, belief. Last copy type that we're gonna have. And then we're gonna talk a little bit more strategy on this. And then if you have any more questions, I'll look at Typeform or whoever's chatting. I got you. All right, remove labeling. So it's easy to copy and paste. And capital that moves on their timeline on approvals for approval's sake. They want to protect momentum, key deals, payroll, inventory, expand track, production, capital that clears when it actually matters. They already qualify, but timing keeps killing process. Banks move too slow. Cheap money comes with expensive delays. Facts. Approvals exist, but access doesn't line up with the real world needs. So waiting quietly costs more than most people admit. They already know this, even if they don't say it out loud. Cheap capital isn't cheap if it shows up late. The biggest risk at this stage isn't cost, it's hesitation. Most businesses don't fail from bad decisions, they fail from slowness, timing, boom, boom, boom. All right, first, only thing we gotta do over here is just update the app. But timing keeps killing progress. Banks move too slow. All right, let's rock this. Awesome. Someone that's actually losing money because they don't have the capital. If you're talking more so about credit-based funding, what I'm mostly focusing on, I'll talk about this in a second. I want to talk, so for revenue-based funding, it's usually like, not fast enough. Delays cost more than capital. If it's for credit-based funding, it's usually like 700 credit score, but banks not offering you enough based upon your high credit score. And music, I always turn this off because sometimes they add like freaking birthday music and it doesn't sound good. Boom. Next thing that you're probably going to do is just add a couple more creatives. So give me another high converting graphic to attract bigger deals. Attract these bigger deals. Nice and simple. Whenever I launch, I like to really just launch with like 3 graphics. The copy stays the same. Boom, boom, boom. Copy stays the same, but the creatives change. The reason being is you always want to test one thing at a time. The first thing that people see really is the actual copy over here. The first thing people see is really the actual image or the video, the creative. The second thing, like the creative over here, gets people to read the primary text, which convinces them to click. Well, creative headline over here, primary text, then the actual link over here. Let's keep on going. So we want to optimize first the creative first. Always just testing out one thing at a time, not confuse yourself. I find that optimizing copy over here makes a pretty, unless you do something crazy, usually makes like $1 or $2 difference, not too much. The creative is where it's really at. Approved does not equal momentum, safety decision when move when timing matters. I'm not too crazy about this. This is follow the SOP that we made to attract people doing more than 30K/month, but not limiting ourselves to higher ticket deals. This is like kind of what you need to pay attention to. Because you look at this over here, it shows money. And if you go back to our SOP, must be, wait, let me just first write this out. Follow the SOP that we made to attract people to. All right, so what I was saying is that sometimes you just gotta pay attention because sometimes ChatGPT is not perfect. And the reason why I'm saying this is because look, put a money thing over here. You know, as per SOP that we built out before, it says don't use money in the visual. Copy, testing structure, designer handoff, no revenue numbers, no hyper urgency queues. Band text, X amount of fast cash. I'm not too crazy about those queues. It just attracts really the wrong type of people that just want money but with no real plan. So let's see what this pops up. And then I'll show you a couple of other a couple other graphics that we like to do. I'm not too crazy about this again. Keep doing 30K per month. See if funding can move as fast as you do. In, in our Sometimes you just gotta restate what you're saying. As this is loading up, let me show you a couple of examples of ads that we have and why we like them. So we're focusing more so on strong credit, but slow offers. This is like our SOP for this one. We do the same exact thing. Here are a couple of ads, and let's talk about why these work versus why I didn't like that one. Okay, strong credit but underfunded over here. Hey, you have good credit, but banks are not giving you what you deserve. Boom. That's attracting people that already have a 700 credit score that are super motivated because the banks are not giving what they want. The very top over here, this is not for planners, this is for operators. So it's saying it's taking away new businesses. We don't want to work new businesses. Losses that can't wait for later. Inventory gas growth bottlenecks, warehouse stalls. Boom, it's the problems people are actually facing right now. Strong credit, underfunding, waiting for better terms is costing more than capital. Focusing on those pain points over here. As well, too, this Amex card, this Chase Ink card over here, also does a lot of the marketing for you. But by displaying this, it shows the people that are actually looking for these things as well, too. Boom, boom, boom. Might help this ad even better. It doesn't show it over here. Is maybe even a guy that's like frustrated. Yeah, we have. Yeah, yeah. After many responses, ChatGPT starts to hallucinate sometimes. Absolutely, I know. Um, yeah, that sometimes happens. That's why we kind of build out the SOP. Oh, that one's a lot better though. Every day without capital is bleeding money. Need to bridge revenue gap now. Miss sales, payroll tightening, inventory at risk. Move fast with MCA. Okay, so first of all, as you can see, it's hallucinating, just like you said, bro. In which case, it's not even giving us the right ad format. It's not even giving us like a 1x1 or 9, 6, 5, or 16. Make sure this is the correct. I need a 9x16, which is like a real size. Cool. But this is pretty good so far. It's showing someone that's frustrated, showing them losing money, move fast with MCA, need to bridge the revenue gap now, miss sales, payroll tightening, inventory at risk. Nice. And just like you said as well, too, that's kind of why I built out this SOP as well. Because when ChatGPT starts to like mess up, refresh, clear cache, open up another chat, and just pre-populate again with the SOP that you already have, and kind of just like you said, restart. All right, so while this is building this out, let's talk a little bit more about the creatives again. Let's keep on going here. So this is the credit-based ones that we're using. See if you qualify for better funding, not to directly schedule a call, because schedule a call is people that might want to do it. You want to work with people that are action takers that know that, hey, I got to qualify for this. over your credit-based funding, you usually would get around 3 times the amount of your credit card limit. So people that have less than a 10K credit card limit, it's not worth touching. I mean, you increase that, but this is like the minimum over here. All right, let's keep it going. Let's look at the revenue-based ones that we have. Enterprise level revenue, but lack funding. Okay, so the only thing I'm not too crazy about this one is that it's just a lot of words, but it's okay because this shows the words that you probably should have in this. One thing I want to talk about over here is typically 50K a month and above. Kind of wording that as not necessarily a cap, but as a starting point. If you word it more so as a starting point, that's to make sure that you're tracking anything above that. You want to make sure you word this specifically, and ChatGPT is really helpful with this because again, I'm a college dropout. I'm not the best at English, but I'm really good at prompting ChatGPT for the most part. I'm sure a lot of people are better than me. What I'm saying though is you want to make sure that 50K a month requirement, that these requirements are not necessarily caps. They are starting points. You want to make sure you're tracking people above that, is what I'm trying to say. All right, let's keep on going over here. Acts as your capital capacity, capital strategy for expansion stage businesses, people that are ready to grow. Banks don't delay profitable companies, they underallocate them. If your business generates meaningful cash flow, but traditional lenders move slowly or cap assets conservatively, the issue isn't approval, it's capital strategy. We help expansion stage companies convert existing revenue into scalable, non-dilutive growth capital designed for long-term development, not one-time funding. This is bringing in repeat funders. I freaking love those type of people. Those are money people. Also, as well, too, if you look at the verbiage that ChatGPT is using here, it sounds legit. I mean, I don't talk this. I don't know the correct word for this, but it's using a verbiage that's higher level, that's higher vibrational. Whatever word I'm trying to say, I'm sure you kind of understand what I'm saying, but the verbiage here is talking to people that are higher caliber. What this is built for, specifically filtering out people that you don't want to work with. Who this is built for? Boom, this is what it's built for. Revenue-backed capital aligned with business performance, no necessary collateral or equity dilution. Boom, not losing equity, capital structured around cash flow behavior, not rigid banking models, outdated models, designed for ongoing multi-stage capital development. Boom, again, who is this for again? Meaningful cash flow, 50K a month, built for companies deploying capital strategy to scale operations, not short-term. Again, really filtering out, not short-term or one-time liquidity needs. Because again, we don't want to attract those small deals over here. We don't want to attract lower vibrational people that'll bother you. We want to attract people that are like, yo, here's my money. Let me know when it's done. And all the verbiage that I'm using on here attracts those type of people. It's going to take less work for you to do with these people, and it's going to make you more money. All right, let's keep it going. Well, this is better. Every day without is bloody words. Every day without is bleeding money. Need to bridge revenue gap now. Miss sales, payroll tightening, inventory risk. I like that a lot better. Go over here. Grab this. Boom, boom, boom. Throw this on the side. Boom, boom, boom. And then, like I was saying before, I always want to make sure that I have at least 3 graphics. Right? Especially around $50 a day, $100 a day. Start with 3 graphics. 500 a day plus. You want to do like, honestly, maybe 10 graphics, $1,000 a day first plus. I'm not saying that you're start out $1,000 a day, but generally $1,000 a day plus. You're looking at around more than 10 graphics, and you're going to be split testing a lot, adding more. Because what you're going to find is that you're putting out this ad, and you're spending out $1,000 a day. It's going to go through that audience. You want to test out new creatives. But we're going to strategy a little bit later if you guys are interested in that. And also how to scale up campaigns. Right now, this entire call right now, as priority of this call is really to be able to get you cash flowing initially with paid ads. We can always have another call really to focus more so on strategy. I had a couple other calls previously that shows exactly how to scale up campaigns. So if you guys are already cash flowing with paid ads, you want to break $500, $1,000 a day, watch that video. All right, now need funding now. Timing is the real cost. Stall delays, payroll tightening, inventory risk. Oh, I like that. Qualify for MCA in hours, not weeks. Move fast. Boom, I like that. Again, I'm not too crazy about the money stuff over here, but it's still pretty good. What I can even do is, as I'm placing, let me ask this right now. Audit this ad again and show me how it can how it can be better in the lamest terms. Boom. Grab this over here, move it out. Boom. Go back to the ad manager over here. This one over here, six-figure approval. Six-figure. The lazy more expensive than the cap. I love that. It's so simple. I love that. For the duplicate, I want to go down here. We're just going to press trash on this and media. I'm going to grab not these, but these two over here. Oops. And by the way, guys, what we're doing here, using these specific words, is what attracts these higher ticket deals. Again, I really like focusing on just higher ticket. The reason being is because you can afford to spend a lot more money to acquire those clients. Let's keep on going. Bleeding money, let's do this one first. This is very important as well, too. Don't use prompt and expand AI, test it. It sucks. It really does. Make sure it's lined up nicely. Whenever you can, always try to do the 9x16, the recommended one. Sometimes you can't, though. You might need to use original. That's okay. Maybe we need to reformat it sometimes, but that's okay. Go over here. Every day without is bleeding money, you need to bridge revenue gap now. I'm gonna get that bottom thing onto there. Boom. So we can see that. Boom, copy stayed. Excuse me, copy stayed. I like to use either get in touch using lead form or type form. I like to use book now. You both kind of come, excuse me, they both kind of convert the same. Remove music. We're gonna rename this bleeding money. Quickly duplicate. Need funding now. Again, I'm always trying to use that one by one when you can. By 16. Make sure it's lined up nicely. Boom. Boom. Copy stays the same. Music. Boom. Need funding now. All right. Now that we got the creatives on here, I mean, yes, we were looking at ChatGPT over here. It tells us, hey, we can make this better. That's okay. I'm sure you all understand that. Actually, wait, we'll do this. Generate. While we're doing other things, let's see if we can get some other graphic and see how we like it. All right, but now we're kind of into this. We put everything on there. We're kind of in this QC stage, quality control. So what we do is go ad by ad because sometimes, again, things screw up. Technology, human error, so we want to make sure that first you got the right MCA one, make sure it's the right page, right IG, SMS verification, ad graphic, 3 copies on here, 2 headlines, call to action. See, this changed, or maybe it didn't change, human error, I don't know. But this is why we QC, get in touch. Again, you can also do book now, not too much of a difference. All right, so the second one over here, scroll down. So IG, Facebook, right form. Oh, look at this. This didn't populate in. I think that was a technological glitch. Cover text, 3 of them. Headline, get in touch, nice and simple. We can go into Euro parameters in a scaling call. We did this one, let's go into this one. All right. And this one, last one over here. So bleeding money. Go over here, take a look, Facebook page, IG, nice. Using the right form, quality filter, boom, it has it now. On lead delivery, don't worry about that. We already set that up. Primary text, we got 3 of them. Headline, boom, get in touch, boom. Now this is looking pretty good. I'm gonna go back into this ChatGPT over here again. When cash flow timing kills momentum, capital should arrive after the opportunity, missed sales, payroll, gas, inventory, waiting on cash. I like this ad as well too. The only thing I'd probably do is probably add someone that might be a little bit frustrated. I like that frustrated picture. Give this as a fit. I like this as well too. Check if this is a fit, qualifies them a little bit more, and finds people that are a lot more willing to be able to take an apart of this product or service than just schedule a call. If it's just schedule a call, it's like, oh, anybody can hop on a call. But if it's like, check if you're a good fit, it's like, oh, I gotta be a good fit. Am I a good fit? It just makes sure that the people that are scheduling a call are a little bit more qualified. But let's say this is also another good app. Let's grab this over here. Again, you could ask ChatGPT to load. There we go. Again, you can ask ChatGPT to audit this again, give you even better ads, higher ticket ads, etc. We're going to do this again. I'm going to quickly duplicate. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to delete this out. Boom, image. Grab this. And I think I just saw someone just join. By the way, this is recorded. As always, we're talking about how to really start ads out to bring in higher ticket deals. Let's keep on going. All right, so line this up, make it look nice. Got all the words on there. Using that one-on-one when we can. Never use that. It sucks. Boom, boom, boom. Nice. Lining up. Using these recommended types when we can. Boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna get those words mostly. That's okay how it is. That's fine. Cool. Always turn off music as well. And then now we add another ad. This keys to again. I'm gonna rename it first. Kills momentum. Always naming it right. Now QC, page, Instagram, the right form. Oh, look at this. Because I duplicated it, it just removed this. SMS verification. Always use the SMS verification rather than the passcode one, but just performed better. Everything else is looking great. This isn't a campaign that I would launch now. This is a campaign that I would really launch right now. Again, probably starting this at around 50 bucks a day. Boom, boom, boom. Or around 100 bucks a day because the average funding qualified call comes in around 50, 60 bucks. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And then the last thing that you really want to do is look at this. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 ads out here. And what time is it? Yeah, I'm gonna run out of this. So if anybody has any questions, make sure you drop them in now. I got you. But let me talk a little bit about in terms of strategy, in terms of scaling strategy. What's the best way of showing this? Is I'm not using a lead form here. Okay, I know how to do this. Let me show you a quick account over here. Yeah, let me just show this account. Okay, so we didn't sign any NDAs here. Alex is a really cool guy, so I don't think he really mind. I'm not going to show the actual creators that we're using for him, but let me show you kind of how to do this. Okay, as you can see, we over here with 3 different campaigns, 3 different offers. That's okay. What I want to bring up here is what you can really do about this to be able to really optimize in a very, very simple way. Before we get into that, actually, let me explain the concept and then I'm going to explain how to do it specifically. So let's go to documents and we go to whiteboard. Because scaling campaigns and optimizing ads, honestly, it's not that difficult. It's not that complicated. The simpler it is, the easier it is to scale. And I truly believe that. And to optimize it is very, very simple. Okay, so we have one campaign. So we got the campaign level. We got the ad set level. This is like where you do like the targeting. And you got the actual ads level. That's where the creatives are. Campaign objective, cool. Boom, and ads. Ads, you might, right? So how many ads we have? On the one that we just made, we had like 4 creatives. So creative 1, creative 2, creative 3, creative 4. Boom. 1, 2, bear with me guys. 3, I don't have my drawing pad here, but 4, cool. We just put up four creatives out here. This is the entire concept of scaling paid ads. Very, very simple. Right now, we're only using one ad set over here. Okay. And we're using what's called a CBO, campaign budget optimization. And what that means is that we're spending 50 bucks a day on this campaign. Based upon how Facebook and AI sees results coming in, it's going to optimize that 50 bucks and allocate it to these ads based upon what today is going to convert better. Based upon the economy, based upon stocks, what Trump is doing, politics, what's going on in this world, things change. The AI is always changing. So one day, 50 bucks might go to this one, another day, 25 over here, 30 over here. What I'm saying is that every single day is always going to be different. And that's okay. This is how we optimize the campaigns out, okay? First, we start out with the CBO, as in that 50 bucks goes out to all four of those ads. Next thing is that we want to be able to attract people that's qualified under 50 bucks. You know, our target is a qualifying target 15/schedule. That's our target. So when we're running these ads, I mean, yes, it might take a day, it might take 2 days, 3 days. It's okay. Let it ride. When we find that one of these creatives, let's say over here, that ad one over here came in, schedule call at $150. Whoa, crazy. Ad two over here came at around $200. Whoa, that's preposterous. This one over here came at around like $80. Okay. Let's say this one over here came at around $50. You see who the winner is? The winner, obviously, is ad four. And we're only really able to justify that this is a winner once we spend 3 times KPIs, 3 times the target, like 3 or 4. So if this spends like 100, if this one spends 150 bucks and we see that it's not falling within a $50 cost per schedule, it's not good. This one as well, and this one as well too. It means it's not really profitable. We can make it better. So once we find this ad that works, it's just natural that you're going to want to be able to cut this one out, cut this one out, cut this one out, and focus the majority of that 50 bucks on this ad itself. Now we got a winner. And because Facebook always, what's the right word? Because Facebook loves people that gives it plenty of creatives. Like if you look at their blogs and the documentation, Facebook, the AI loves multiple different creatives. And it loves it because it's able to split test a lot of different things and find the things that are really converting. So if you're going to find that the more creatives that you have, that's why I love the hammer strategy, and I can go into that in a second. But the more creatives that you give the AI, the higher quality and the cheaper cost per result you're actually going to have. So let's keep on going over here. So we just found our winner over here. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. The next step that you really want to do here is you want to move it from a CBO into a ad set budget distribution, ABD, whatever, ad set. So right now you're spending 50 bucks at the campaign level over here. What I'm telling you that you need to do is wait, bear with me, bear with me. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, whatever. Wait, just bear with me. I'm just trying to organize myself here, guys. All right, cool, 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 cool. Oh shit, there you go. All right. So once we find that winner, we're transitioning into ad set level distribution now. And what that means is that we're no longer spending $50 at the campaign level. Now we're spending $50 at the ad set level. And you remember how I was telling you previously that Facebook absolutely freaking loves you always testing on new creatives? What ends up happening, what you need to do is now we're spending $50 at the ad set level. We're going to have two ad sets. Ad set, ad set, scale. And then we're also going to have test ad set. We're having two ad sets. Boom, boom, into the creatives, whatever. Okay. And now this ad four over here, this winner that we previously got a lead ad for $50. I mean, yeah, maybe you're going to turn these off and just open up another ad set for test. Or maybe you got to like duplicate this into this ad set. However you got to do it, just get it done. But now you really want to do is you're allocating your $50 a day to what's already working. A majority of your budget goes to what is already working so you can scale up that ad that's already making you money, that's already working for you. And then the other ad set, you want to allocate at least another 10% of your budget to that. So my total budget is like $50 a day, $50 to scale, maybe like $5, $10 to the test. So it's just again, test out new concepts. Test 10%, whatever your budget really is. Okay. This over here, the scale is really going to be around like 70% of your budget. And oops. And the other 20% is really going to be like retargeting slash hammer strategy. Another video. All right, but cool. So this makes sense. Right now we got this scale ad set, which a majority of the budget is going to, or what's already working, and we got this test one where we're testing out new concepts. Ultimately, what we're doing is we're taking this angle 4 over here, and we're just creating more variations of this. Go to ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, this is a good ad. Make more variations of this. Boom. Now we got 3 more variations. Now we go into this test level, and we're just testing out 3 more variations. And I think you can see where I'm going with this. As we're testing out more variations, we start to see that some ads are doing good, falling within KPIs. After we spend 3 times KPI, boom, duplicate them into here. And the only thing that I want to show, this is kind of set over here. If you have questions, let me know. The only thing I want to show is that how you duplicate this. I guess kind of important. So if I were to, I want to show the actual ad, but let's pretend we're going to duplicate it. The main thing that you want to duplicate into here, original setup, is make sure you have existing reactions on. So let me go to my account and I'll come back into here and I'll show what I mean by this. Okay, cool. So here, boom, boom. Okay, so let's say kill momentum, falls within KPIs, $50 cost per schedule. You're going to duplicate existing campaign and you're going to press the scale ad set. So what ends up happening is right now, this is, right now we just launched this campaign. We're figuring out what ad falls within KPIs. Once we have one of those ads, for example, like kill momentum, bring me a scheduled call for $50. Now what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this over here to the existing campaign. And now really what we're going to have is this one's going to be test, and this one's going to be scale. And then over here, again, $50 a day. This one might bring down to like $10 a day, But even then, I mean, I would just raise the budget a little bit more. If you start to see this coming within KPIs and the quality looks good, and I'll go into that in a second, the next step, and then, I will increase that budget. We're going to talk about that in a second. What I'm saying though is let's say that we found the scale ad over here, boom, 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 kill momentum. I'm going to duplicate this existing campaign, which is the one that we're using, move from scale, move it from test into scale, and make sure show existing reactions and comments are on. Cool. So now again, we just broke it down. So majority of the budget is going to what's already working, and we're always just testing out new concepts. We're always bringing out new concepts into this test stage, and then once they fall within KPIs, we move over to the scale stage. Boom, simple. And now the last thing that I really want to show here is because now we just optimize things based upon, cost per lead. But cost per lead doesn't necessarily mean more money in your pocket. And this is why ChatGPT is freaking awesome. Is because what you can do is just go back to Business Digester over here. This will be the last thing. If you guys, again, have questions or I'm going too quick on something, want me to reiterate something, please don't hesitate. Let me go back into here. So what I want to show you is you can take this and you can export the leads from here. When you export the leads, it gives you a CSV file with the ad ID. So it would show the lead, name, email, phone number, monthly revenue, come in, and it shows the ad ID that lead comes in from. I hope that you can see where I'm going with this. Once you pull all those lead IDs with the data coming in, you can then have the AI tell you exactly what ad brings in the highest submissions, What ad, long story short, brings in the highest quality? So first step is to really optimize based upon leads, ultimately to put people in your calendar. Then once you kind of have your first couple of sales come in, you see some good quality people coming in, you see some good fits come in, you optimize the budget to that test and scale, 70%, 80% of the budget. Then you optimize for lead quality. You optimize for lead quality first, and then you optimize for actual purchases and cash collected. But you can't really optimize for purchase and cash collected until you get at least 10, 20, maybe even 30 paid deals for it to really make sense. So the next thing you want to optimize for is really, application response. Oh, excuse me, my Wi-Fi just transferred over. All right, what I was saying is that, let me put my screen share. All right, so what I was saying before I got really interrupted by my Wi-Fi change. All right, cool. Is that right now we're just optimizing for pretty much KPIs, lead costs, target data. What we then want to do is really want to optimize based upon giving your closers or yourself the best chances of closing deals and the best leads, the highest ticket amounts, focus on those highest ticket ones. So by pulling the data, the lead form data directly from Meta, it's going to give you the contact information, the pre-qualification information, and also the ad ID. You can take that information, that database, throw into ChatGPT and ask it, hey, which ad IDs give you the highest qualification amounts, highest funding request amounts, highest credit card limits amounts, highest credit score amounts, highest funding request amounts. This way, when teams are taking these calls, they're not necessarily focusing on, just these smaller deals. The campaign is optimizing to bring you in just higher ticket deals because you optimize the ads based upon what averages bring you the highest funding requests or the highest seat credit card limits. Boom. And then, of course, the next thing would be more so optimizing the campaign based upon actual revenue. But again, that has to be only after really like 30 deals, in which case you might want to implement high rows and you really want to be able to correlate cash collected to the lead to the ad. And then you just simply push the budget on the ad that brings the highest cash collected. Honestly, guys, optimizing ads is not really that complicated. I feel like a lot of times we make it complicated for ourselves. It is pretty simple. Awesome. All right. That was like that. Wow, 2 hours went by quick. Can I answer any questions on that, guys? That was like A to Z, how to launch a campaign, kind of how to scale it up a little bit. When you're scaling it up past, again, $500 a day, you're gonna start to see that you have what's called like this audience. You use upon all your audience. And the best way to scale out of that is really to focus on pain points and to make ads based upon pain points because pain points have a larger audience size than like direct response. Hey, you need funding, as an example. Awesome. I gotta head out to barbecue, but I hope I provide a ton of value over here, guys. As always, these calls are recorded. It's recorded with AI, so you can go back into the AI and be like, hey, what did Blade say about this? What are action steps for this? Boom, boom, boom. If you need any of the SOPs, message me on Discord. Happy to help you guys out. That AI marketing brain. You're welcome, by the way. I got you. The AI marketing brain. If you guys don't already have it, last thing I'm gonna do here, really quick, is I'm gonna share this marketing brain with you guys on chat over here. Boom. It's directly on Zoom chat right now. Guys, allow this like 5-20 minutes to propagate. I'm gonna show it on the Discord announcements. Thank you all for hopping on here. Guys, if you have any extra questions, I know this is a lot of just A to Z, launching ads and getting your cash flowing. The next one will go back to regular Q&A style. I'll throw the survey on the announcements. I got your back. But again, guys, thank you for being on here. Always love helping you guys out. If I can provide any more value, guys, don't hesitate. I'm here to make more money because the more money I make you, the more me and my team get paid. God bless, guys. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Peace. See ya. See ya.